Hello and welcome to the first ever video that I'm making where I'm just talking about subjects that are important for me and that I want to share with you. So here goes. This is the first video. As I was preparing to make this video, I was meditating and I said to myself, actually I asked my higher self, okay, what is the point of making these videos? Why do you want to make these videos? What do you think you actually want to share? And this voice inside of me, the little shy girl that I used to be when I was 13 years old, came up and said, yeah, what do you want to share anyway? Why would anybody listen to you? And I mean, there's all these other great spiritual leaders that are talking on the internet. I mean, what do you have to share with the world? Why would you want to do that? And why would anybody even listen to you? I mean, you're only 38, you're not like 60, you don't have like a spiritual guru practice, you haven't been like in India for like 10 years to share the knowledge that you got from the universe. So what is it you have to share? And but something in me says I have something to share, and so I'm making these videos because I think I have something to share. And the first thing I'm wanting to share is about shyness. That's probably one of my big issues right now, is believing that what I have to tell is important. When I was 13, I used to hide in the bathroom at lunchtime because I didn't have any friends, and because I was so shy that even if I was sitting at the table with somebody at lunchtime, I wouldn't dare talk because my mind would come up with like a million different judgments for each thing that I wanted to say, and by the time I could finally say it, came up with the right thing to say, it was too late. So I would end up not talking. And the people I used to sit with at lunchtime, when I was able to kind of wiggle my way into lunch with someone, they always would stare at me weird because I wouldn't talk, and I would feel so crappy, and I would just feel so unworthy of being alive. And then the days when I wasn't able to put up with that, then I would just go and hide in the bathroom and sit on the toilet seat and hide. And as I would listen to everybody around talking and putting on their makeup and being so comfortable, and I would just sit there and hide and hope that nobody would notice that I was there. When I used to stand up in front of the class, if I had to read anything, I would start shaking, my voice would tremble, and I'd start crying. If anybody asked me to look at them in the eyes, then I would also start crying, because if I looked at anyone in the eyes, then that would show the fragile self I was inside, and I couldn't bear someone being able to see that. So as I was about to make these videos, I ended up recontacting this shy little girl inside of me who kept judging herself, and I ended up going into my body as if I was looking to find out where she was, and then I would go feel here, okay, in my heart, in my shoulder, in my neck, okay, where is this location of this seed of this little scared girl who wasn't able to talk. And so I ended up, finding a place, I think it was maybe here in the back of my head, and I went into this area and just went and sat with myself, with this shyness and with all these judgments I had of myself, which come, of course, from childhood, of how I was raised, and no one ever really telling me that what I had to say was worth something. And I went there and I just sat with myself, and I surrounded this area with love, as if it was a little seed, a little bad seed that had grown there. And from this bad seed, every time I would go and talk to someone, there'd be that judge saying, but what you have to say, is that really important? Are they really care what you have to say? And then, I would try and adapt whatever I'd say so that maybe they would like it, and I would never be really authentic. So there I went into this seed, and I just surrounded it with love, and said to this little girl inside myself and said, look, you know, what you have to say is important. You are as important as everyone in this world. What you have to say is worth it because it's something that's important for you. And you and everyone else on this planet has as much right and as much worth to speak and to say what is important for you. And even if someone else doesn't understand it, this is their own mirror of their world. It's not my problem. It's not my world that they're judging. They have their own vision of the world. And if it's important for me, I need to say it. And of course it also comes down to also the thing about like this judgment of oneself is also judging the fact that we are also glorious beings, that all of us are glorious beings, that all of us are parts of this divine universe, that all of us are God in a sense. That each, what I like a lot as a metaphor is that around me there's, you know, a tree has its role, a leaf has its role, the bird has its role, the sky has its role. Every part of nature has its role in the whole. And as humans too, we are also part of the whole, and we all have our role, and the world needs us because we're all here for something, for a reason. And if we're not true to what the most inner essence of ourselves, how can we offer to the world the best of ourselves? And so if each time I want to say something, I'm going to be judging myself and trying to adapt what I have to say to the other person, how am I ever going to be able to express the true beauty and the true essence of who I truly am? I'm just going to be trying to become what I think he wants to hear, or what I think might not hurt this person or might be most adapted. Yeah, so as I was going into this meditation and talking to this little girl and enveloping her with love and just saying, you know, look, you are precious, you're precious, what you have to say is precious. I allowed myself to say, okay, I'm going to make a video. I'm going to make a video and talk about this. You know, this is important for me. And I know a lot of people out there are shy and say, no, I can't do this because I'm too shy. And being shy isn't an unchangeable disease. And now I can talk to everyone, actually. Now I do shows in front of people, I perform, I do tons of things. It's just because at some point I accepted who I truly am and said, you know, this, Carly, you're worth it, and what you have to say is worth it, what you do is worth it, and the best you can give to the world is you as you are, with your truest, most beautiful self. And another thing is that the word from the throat, related to the throat chakra, this is the area that's related to communication. How my thought ends up being manifested and materialized into the word. How what comes from my heart can be materialized into words. So the question at the end is, where are my words coming from? Can I have them come from my heart? Can I contact that area so that when I speak, it's true, it's coming from the truth that's within me, and it's spoken out of love and care. So that's all. Thank you. See you next time.